evening and welcome back to the Rory Talks Football channel, your daily Arsenal news, updates, debates and my opinions. If you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. We're on the way to 11,900 subscribers. And of course, if you could click the like button, I would be incredibly grateful. There's loads of you here. There's loads to talk about. So we'll get cracking. We're halfway through the week, which is absolutely sensational. And it is, once again, absolutely roasting inside this room. But look, who's here? Who have we got? Woodsy, Junior Films, Lord Ferguson of Aberdeen, Sportcat, Ethan Udall, El Minister, Anu Brata, Max Evans, Saliba, Cringe, Pekka, Sam Kenny, Tom, Hyper, Vivi Vlad, Saka the Goat, Emili, Yo, Sard, Vic, Emil, Leeds Gunner, Jackie, and many, many more. Ross Lawman's in the building. Some congratulations for the... well, I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, today was a good day. Today was a celebratory day. Yeah, there we go. Happy days. Do you think Timber can be molded into a DM? Yeah, I don't think he even needs much molding, actually. I don't think he like... In a way, he did it at Ajax. He was playing at centre-back, but moving up into, realistically, what was a holding midfield role anyway. So I don't think it would take a huge amount. I really don't. And I do think we'll see him there at times this season, maybe even as a left 8. I do think we'll see Timber at points in the midfield this season, depending on who's available. So, yeah, I don't think it even needs a huge amount of time. Did you see City have an extra 22 charges? So now they have 137. Yeah, Man City have been charged for delaying the restart of games or the start of games 22 different times. It's actually cost them £2 million in fines that they got today. So, yeah, unlucky for them. One of those games, by the way, the one that they got the biggest fine for was their game against West Ham on the final day of last season. When they won the Premier League. So that was interesting. But yeah, technically they are now up to 137 charges. So just cheats, aren't they? Absolutely disgraceful. I feel like we should get £25 million for Eddie. Anything less seems a bit low. Yeah, well, look, we're going to talk about Eddie Nketiah and the price for Eddie Nketiah. We will talk about that. We're going to talk about Merino, Nico Williams, Reiss Nelson's future. So there is plenty to talk about. We'll get into it. Do you know what? As we're on the topic, we'll get into Max. Max has just gifted 10 memberships to the stream. Max, welcome, and thank you very, very much. Your just consistent generosity is genuinely mind-blowing, and I'm incredibly grateful as always. If you've just been gifted a membership from Max, please do thank him in the chat. I hope you're doing well, Max. I hope you're doing well over in Australia. I feel like I'm in Australia here, to be honest, with this temperature, this heat. But yeah, Max, what an absolute legend. But yeah, look, on Eddie Nketiah, this came from Ornstein last night. Not the Ornstein bomber we wanted at midnight last night, but he dropped it anyway. Marseille make an improved offer to sign Eddie Nketiah from Arsenal. New bid nearing 20 million euros, similar to the previous, but it's closer to the formula that Arsenal want. Presumably that means more of it's up front. Likely to be deemed unrealistic, but talks are ongoing and a 5-year contract has been agreed with the 25-year-old keen on a move to Olympique Marseille. So, Eddie Nketiah has agreed a 5-year deal with Marseille. Seemingly, personal terms have been agreed. And they've offered less than 20 million euros, right? So, I don't know. Let's say for argument's sake, let's say it's 18 million euros. What's that? That's just over 15 million quid. Now, 15 million quid. What do you think? Rory, can you call out the new memberships? Loves the show as always. I don't know if I can. I don't know how to see them. I would love to. And Max, thank you. Thank you. Just ignored what you actually did. Not a $5 super chat, Max. Thank you very, very much. I don't know on the thing I use, I don't know how to call out the names of the people that got them. So I apologize for that. But I mean, I can see the green names. I can see green names, but which I assume were probably gifted by you, given that 95% of the members of the channel were gifted by you. But yeah, let me know how I can do that. There you go. Alex is now officially a member. That's one of them. Go on, Alex. But yeah, in terms of Eddie Nketiah, 15 million quid roughly. Considering, there you go, Josh, Kieran, these are a couple of them. You'll love to see it. Given that at the start of the window, we were hearing 50 million, and now we're down to 15 million. We might get a little bit more than that, but it sounds like we're not going to get more than 20 million quid, right? And unless there's a monster sell-on clause, that seems very, very low. It seems very low indeed. Now, I actually understand it to an extent, right? And when people say 25 million, I think would be fair. But when people say, like, we should be getting 30, 35 million for Eddie Nketiah because he's homegrown and he's played loads of times for Arsenal. He's got a lot of Premier League experience. He's only 25 years old. He should be 30 million. The issue with that is, would you pay 30 million for Eddie Nketiah? Like, as an Arsenal fan, take Arsenal out of Eddie Nketiah's career and replace it with Manchester United. If Man United were selling Eddie Nketiah, a 25-year-old who couldn't get near their starting lineup, who had had opportunities but not really taken them, would you want to pay 30 million quid for Eddie Nketiah on 100 grand a week already? No. I think no is the answer. And that's the issue that we've got. The issue we've got is we feel like he should be worth this, but the market says otherwise. And that's a problem. So now one thing that does annoy me, Max has given another 10 gifted memberships. If you've just been gifted by Max again, honestly, Max, you're absolutely off the chain. You are off the chain. Boston, it looks like he's just been given one. Again, Max, just the support for the channel. The support for the channel is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I really do appreciate you. And yeah, again, if you've just been gifted a membership by Max, please do thank him in the chat. There's nearly 300 of you here as well. If you could click the like button for Max, you know, for me as well, but for Max, then that would be absolutely sensational. And subscribe if you're not already subscribed. We're very close to 11,900 subscribers. So yeah, Elon Max has turned up. What an absolute monster. Ryan was testing him. Well, there you go. You passed the test. You passed Ryan's test. But yeah, the one thing that I do find annoying on the Nketiah thing is that I saw yesterday that an unnamed Premier League club has offered £27 million for Armando Broja from Chelsea. Now, he is a lesser player with less experience who is nowhere near playing for Chelsea. And he's been offered £27 million. That's nearly double what Marseille have offered for Nketiah. So that's where I get annoyed. Because clearly someone out there is willing to spend that money in the Premier League. Now, I'm surprised that we've not had Fulham. All right, Fulham have gone for Smith Rowe. Maybe they don't have the money now. West Ham. You know, West Ham's strike force. I saw West Ham are looking at Füllkrug, right? That would mean that West Ham's 3 strikers would be Füllkrug, Antonio, and Danny Ings. Their combined age is 97. So, surprised maybe West Ham haven't shown interest. Brentford, Palace. You know, there are teams in the Premier League that I thought might have come in. Now, maybe the fact that he's on 100 grand a week is a problem. Not sure. But yeah. It's frustrating. It is frustrating. But ultimately, look, Nketiah's agreed a deal with Marseille now, which means I think that move will happen, and I don't think we're going to get a huge amount of money for it. Carter, thank you. Thank you very much. What a day. What a day. Nketiah deal is outside the Premier League, so should homegrown have validity? No, it doesn't. That's the thing. That's the thing. If he moves outside of the Premier League, it makes no difference that he was homegrown. Which takes, and also if he moves outside the Premier League, realistically, they don't have that sort of money in France or Italy or anywhere really. If everyone on the channel pitches in around £5,000 each, we can single-handedly trigger the Gyökeres price tag. Well, let's do it then. If all of you could just stump up £5,000, we'll go and get Victor Gyökeres. Sensational. Do you pay for the stream on Arsenal's website, or how do you do it? Yeah, you do. But if you've not already done it, it's going to cost you 15 quid just to watch one game. If you did it previously, you could spend a tenner and get all of the games. But if you haven't already done it, then it's going to cost you 15 quid to try and do it tonight. Max, thank you very, very much for the $5 super chat. Should I take over as sponsor? I send you my. Surely you're trying to say new there, right? Unless I'm just. I don't know. I don't want to cancel. I don't want to get cancelled here. Do you mean new products for a new internet service along with a new computer? Yes. If you would like to sponsor the channel, you can with your new products. Your new products, I think. You can get a free trial on Liverpool's website, apparently. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Thank you again for that $5, though, Max. And yeah, do you know what? The computer's actually holding up well at the moment. And internet-wise, the issue with the internet is that we can't improve it. We can't actually improve the internet. Like, we have the best internet that is available. Unfortunately, basically every internet provider in the UK is just shit. So yeah, but thank you for that, Max. You are a legend. Any news on Charlie Patino? No, we've not heard anything on Charlie Patino, to be fair. As it stands, he's technically still at the club, but he's not on pre-season. So obviously I meant new. I thought so, but I didn't want to, I didn't want to offend. You can never be too careful. You can never be too careful. Thing is, Prem teams can get better deals from abroad than spend more than 20 million for a relatively deadweight player. Well, that's what I think. But then that's exactly what Broja is. And someone's willing to pay, apparently, 27 million for him. So anyway, look, that's Eddie Nketiah. Mikel Merino. This came from Team News and Ticks earlier on today, I think, or last night. Team News and Ticks said Mikel Merino has agreed to join Arsenal. With the timeline expected to be similar to the Calafiori deal, as Merino is still on holiday. Arsenal are in negotiations with Real Sociedad regarding Mikel Merino to get the best deal possible, and it is viewed as an easy deal to do by the club. Mikel Arteta personally pushed strongly for the move and was insistent that Merino was the player to bring in. So there you go. It sounds like with Merino, we're at that stage that we were at with Calafiori, where it was like, Calafiori had decided he was joining Arsenal, and now we've got to deal with the club. But in terms of doing that, obviously, Merino's still on holiday, so it might take a bit of time. But yeah, I think Merino is going to happen. Obviously, we had that news yesterday that Atletico Madrid and Barcelona had basically given up on Merino because his only interest was Arsenal. So I do think Merino is going to happen. I think it's a good signing. I was actually looking back at his stats, by the way, from when he was at Newcastle. So he has got Premier League experience when he was at Newcastle United, right? Back in 2017. He was putting on some really good performances. And I'll be honest, right? I completely have zero memory of Mikel Merino playing in the Premier League. Like, I'm looking at the pictures of him playing for Newcastle. I have zero memory of it whatsoever. But I was looking at the stats. He was actually playing well. He was an important part of that Newcastle midfield. So, yeah, it's interesting. Devin, thank you very, very much for the $4.99 super chat. Max in stream the same day you completed the 15 trophy challenge. What a day. What a day indeed. What a day indeed. I told you about Merino. Merino is a baller. Yeah, well, look, I rate him. I rate him from what I've seen. How much do you expect us to make in sales this summer? Not as much as I thought at the start of the summer. Remember at the start of the summer, I thought we'd make over 100 million at the start of the summer. That involved selling Smith Rowe, potentially. Ramsdale, no news on him. Partey, no news on him. Reiss Nelson. I mean, look, this is the Reiss Nelson news coming out today, by the way. This came from Jordan Blackwell. This part came from Jordan Blackwell. He's a tier 1 source specifically for Leicester City. If you remember, Reiss Nelson had been linked to Leicester City. But he says it seems Reiss Nelson's future does not lie at Leicester City. Initial talks were held with Arsenal over the winger, but sources at both clubs have said that a deal is not currently advancing and that he would be out of City's price bracket. Right now, Nelson's not close to a move anywhere. And that was followed up by something that's slightly off topic, but on topic. Fabrizio Romano, West Ham have reached an agreement with Crescenzio Somerville on personal terms. The player said yes to the contract and project. Negotiations underway between West Ham and Leeds after the first bid was revealed last week. So that's a double whammy. Reiss Nelson's not going to go to Leicester City, and West Ham have gone and picked up Somerville, seemingly, or they're going to. Does that take them then away from Reiss Nelson? Max with another $5 super chat. Hey, Rory, with no England manager at the moment, who do you want? Also, FYI, Mikel Merino is amazing on FIFA. Reminds me so much of Xhaka, but better. Who do I want as England manager? Look, there's who I want, which would be, Klopp or Guardiola. And then there's who I realistically think we will end up with, and I wouldn't be too bothered about it, or I'd be okay with it. And that is Graham Potter. I think Graham Potter will be absolutely fine for England. I think tactically is a massive upgrade on Southgate. I think he will continue the work that Southgate's done in terms of the culture. He is a bit of a pushover. He is a bit of a softie. That's what Southgate was. I think he'll be able to combine the two of them. And with the crop of players that we've got, I think he could be enough to get us to win something finally. So yeah, I think that's what we'll go with. And well, there you go. To be fair, Merino has had back-to-back team of the seasons on FIFA, so make of that what you will. But thank you again for the $5 super chat, absolute legend. But yeah, so Reiss Nelson, and by the way, the then flip side of that is this. Coming from The Athletic today, Nico Williams is expected to remain with Athletic Bilbao next season. The player had intended to stay to allow him to play European football with his boyhood club. Barcelona have basically given up on him. There's no links now to him and Arsenal. I thought maybe Barcelona falls through and then suddenly people are like, oh, Arsenal are there. But it sounds like Nico Williams is staying at Bilbao. So now, as it stands, Reiss Nelson's not really linked to anyone, and the potential clubs that he would have gone to in West Ham and Leicester aren't there anymore. Nico Williams, who was the only winger really that we'd been properly linked to so far this summer, isn't going to happen. I think Reiss Nelson stays. Because we can't afford to lose Reiss Nelson if we don't have a replacement, right? We're light on wingers anyway. We can't afford to lose Reiss Nelson without a replacement, in my opinion. And it doesn't seem like he's going to go. So in terms of the money that we've generated, right, fine. We've generated 27 million plus 7 in potential add-ons for Emil Smith-Rowe. We've generated a few bits and pieces from the likes of Nuno Tavares that are going to come through next summer, hopefully. Other than that, there's nothing there. Maybe, okay, we're going to get like 15 to 20 million for Nketiah. But it's not going to take us over 100 million. That's for sure. We're even lighter on strikers. Yeah, arguably. So that's the situation that we're in with those. Is Reiss Nelson good enough? Because again, I think Reiss Nelson's looked really good in pre-season. But we've seen Reiss Nelson look good in pre-season before. We've seen him look good in cameo appearances before. But we all went into this summer saying, we'll sell Reiss Nelson and we'll get a Saka backup. And now it's like, suddenly, okay, well, same thing with Thomas Partey. We were all like, sell Thomas Partey, go and get an elite midfielder. Suddenly now we're like, we can keep Partey for another season, let him see out his contract and then get a midfielder next summer. We'll keep Reiss Nelson this summer and we'll go and get the winger next summer. And, there's no real striker on the market this summer, so we'll go and get them next summer. Suddenly, before we've even started this season, we're already looking at next summer going midfielder, winger, striker. That becomes a bit of a problem because you're kicking the can down the road on too many issues there. Another annoying thing today, Albert Sambi Lokonga. Remember, Albert Sambi Lokonga is on loan with a buy option, not a buy obligation. And he's injured. He's already injured. He's got a muscular issue in both of his hamstrings that's going to keep him out for at least a month. So that's a terrible start to Sambi Lokonga's spell with Sevilla, where it's a buy option. So that's more potential money that we might end up not getting either. Don't forget to click the like button. Yes, please. 200. If we can get to 200 likes, sensational. Thanks for going all the way to Italy to get Calafiori over the line. No problem. It was my pleasure, really. It was my pleasure. Our transfer business is, I wouldn't say it's a disgrace. But it's not ideal. It's not ideal. There you go. There's another member, a new member from Max. There you go. Sensational. So yeah, and another one that frustrated me a little bit today. To be honest, it's actually been a day of quite a few frustrations. Fabrizio Romano has given the here we go for João Neves to PSG. Listen to this deal for João Neves. Bear in mind, at the start of the window, he was one of the ones that I wanted, right? But we all agreed pretty much that his release clause of 120 million euros was far too much, right? 120 million euro release clause for João Neves would have been ridiculous. João Neves to PSG, here we go. Deal being signed right now between the clubs. 60 million euros fixed fee with 10 million euros in add-ons, and Renato Sanchez going to Benfica on loan. So 60 million euro fixed fee with a potential extra 10 million euros. And then they've sent Renato Sanchez, who they don't use, on loan to Benfica, which, like, we could have sent fucking Sambi Lokonga on loan. So basically half of the release clause. Now I'm like, okay, well, why weren't we sniffing around that? Because 60 million euro fixed fee, I mean, that's just over 50 million quid for João Neves. That's unbelievable value. Unbelievable value. So yeah, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. And I don't know how they've got that deal done. I think that deal is only possible due to Jorge Mendes. I'm sure there's other stuff happening. Yeah, possibly. They paid most of it up front. That's the difference. Yeah. Well, look, yeah. I suppose if they paid a lot of it up front and in a way that we couldn't do it, then that makes sense. But that's still frustrating. Max with a $20 super chat. Max, honestly, you are off your rocker. I won the Euros on FIFA 24 with Southgate making subs. But wait, it disappeared. Making subs early and playing attacking football. What's going on? I'm playing Trent as right back, Stones and Gomez as centre back, Shaw at left back, Reiss, Jude Foden as midfielders, Saka, Gordon, and Harry Kane. Well, there you go, Max. If look, you know, if Gareth Southgate had taken your tactics into the Euros, then maybe we could have done it. You know, maybe we could have done it. You started Gordon. That was the difference. You actually started a proper left winger. So that was what we needed. But look, hopefully the next England manager is capable of doing that. We've also got Carsley, right? Carsley, who was doing the under-21s, is taking over temporarily. Apparently, he's pretty good, and he had them playing pretty well. So we'll see. Correct, we need a striker. I do think we need a striker, but I don't think it's as important as a winger, in my opinion. I mean, I want Gyökeres, right? We all know I want Gyökeres. If that doesn't happen, I don't want to go out and spend 30, 40 million on a striker that's not actually going to take us up a level. So we'll wait and see. Neves will end up being yet another forgettable PSG player. Possibly. I mean, interestingly, what does that mean for Fabian Ruiz? That's another midfielder coming in at PSG. Does that mean that Fabian Ruiz is going to want to move? I mean, he wasn't even getting, a massive amount of game time last season. So we'll wait and see. Thoughts on Chido joining United? Look, do you know what, right? I want to talk about this because it's been annoying me today. This idea that Arsenal or Arteta doesn't create a pathway for youth players, I genuinely just think it is bollocks. I said on Twitter, and I think we said it last night on stream, who over the last 4.5 years since Arteta joined, has Arteta not integrated into the squad from the academy that's gone on to prove him wrong? And there's not a single one. And I tweeted it, and there were 3 names that came up, right? Teller, who we lost in 2017, right? He never even made it past the under-18s. We let him go in 2017. He's just made it to Bayer Leverkusen. Even last summer, he was still a championship player, right? Musa. Is that his name? Musa? Mensa? Whatever his name is. What's his name? The American fella. What's his name? Yunus Musa. It is Musa. Yunus Musa. He went before Arteta joined. He went in 2019 before Arteta joined. probably wouldn't get into the Arsenal squad. Definitely wouldn't get into the midfield. So, at what point, right? At what point? Oh, and then Joe Willock. Joe Willock, who we used and then sold. Other than that, I genuinely can't think of a single person. And then some people say Hutchinson. But again, Hutchinson, we did exactly. We offered Hutchinson exactly what Chelsea ended up doing. Balogun, we sold him for good money, and he's been poor in Ligue 1. Literally, Balogun is the example of what you are meant to do. We sold Balogun for good money, and he does not look worth that money based on his first season since we sold him. David Ornstein has just tweeted, West Ham have reached total agreement with Leeds United to sign Crescencio Somerville. Personal terms in place for the Dutchman on a 5-year contract. Plan is for the 22-year-old forward to undergo a medical. For some reason, the article he's got is a picture of Calafiori on that tweet. But there you go. So that sounds like that's definitely happening, which again blocks a route for Reiss Nelson to go perhaps. But yeah, on the pathway thing, right? With the genuinely good talent, Ethan Nwaneri, we gave him his Premier League debut at 15. At 17, he's getting some of the most minutes on tour. And everyone is talking about the fact he's probably going to get integrated heavily into the squad next season at 17. That's the pathway. If you're good enough, the pathway is there. If you're not good enough, there's no pathway. And that's how it should be. And the fact that, and hear this, right? According to Fabrizio Romano, Chido Obi-Martin is going to be the third choice striker at Manchester United. Senior squad. He's basically never even played at under 21 level. Played a handful of minutes for the under 21s for us. He's their third choice striker. That isn't the fact that the pathway is easier or, well, it's not the fact that the pathway is better at Manchester United. It's the fact that the pathway is easier at Manchester United. And we were like that 4 or 5 years ago, which is why if you go back 4 or 5 years, we were giving thousands of minutes to teenagers because we had to. That was how Smith Rowe, Saka, Martinelli found their way in. But look at where we were in the table. That's the difference. Max, thank you for another $5. Which midfielder are starting out of these midfielders? Ugarte, Ruiz, Vitinha, Gomez, and Emery. Do you mean Neves instead of Gomez? I think so. I think you mean Neves. So yeah. Well, this is the issue, right? Ugarte, Ruiz, Vitinha, João Neves, Zaire Emery. What's the best midfield out of that? Probably, I think. I mean, it's tough. João Neves, Vitinha, and either Fabian Ruiz or Emery, I think. Ugarte, I think, has struggled, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. That's the issue, right? There's too many of them. Ugarte supposedly off to Manchester United, but it hasn't happened yet. João Gomez exists. Yeah. Am I losing my mind? Yeah, he's at Wolves. João Gomez is at Wolves. I was going to say, I don't think he's a PSG player. But Max, thank you again. Absolute legend. Just about to say this, say that United are at the same spot as us in the Emery early Arteta era. Completely agree. These teenagers are very much hit and miss. It was only lucky we found ESR and Saka. Well, that's the other thing, right? What can you name me a top club that integrates like even one academy player per season? Because I was looking around and I was thinking, okay, if we go Saka and kind of Martinelli, because we got him as a teenager, which is the same as what United are claiming with Garnacho. Saka, Martinelli came through and are fundamental starting players at Arsenal, right? We then had a few years, and then seemingly Nwaneri is going to be the next one. What other clubs are bringing in more than that? If you look at Manchester United, Marcus Rashford, what, a decade ago? Now Kobbie Mainoo. Did anyone, between Rashford and Kobbie Mainoo, in terms of through the academy, not someone like Garnacho that they bought in for quite a lot of money for a teenager. And I might be wrong here, but I can't think of any. McTominay maybe. Was McTominay and Greenwood, okay, We all know what happened with Greenwood. But outside of that, and McTominay is Joe Willock, realistically. Yeah, Greenwood, but even if you look at Liverpool, Trent Alexander-Arnold, what, 5 years ago, 6 years ago? Joe Gomez, does he count? Harvey Elliott? No, Luke Shaw they bought from Southampton. He wasn't an academy player. And now Harvey Elliott, right? So a big gap. And now Connor Bradley. But how many? And by the way, the Liverpool ones currently, that's kind of been force of hand because of injuries. Same with United last season. United had a lot of injuries last season, which was part of the reason that they had no choice but to start relying on kids. City, Phil Foden, Rico Lewis, Oscar Bob. In the last, 6 or 7 years. Cole Palmer, maybe. And by the way, City have had every good, talented youngster under the sun. We don't even have that. So there's really, it goes in cycles. It goes in cycles. And every so often, you will get a player who is legitimately good enough to break through. But it's rare at the very top level. Trixie, thank you very, very much for the £5 super chat. Glad to catch a stream. Love the intro, by the way. Gyökeres Choo Choo. Bless the community and bless up. All hail the almighty algorithm, Merino and Ruiz. Yes. Trixie, absolute legend. Thank you very, very much. And look, the Gyökeres steam train is still going. It is still going. McTominay is Willock is McTominay. Really, Rory? The disrespect? Well, you know what I mean, though. Like a player that, was good, and Man United should probably have sold McTominay by this point. Yeah, Elliott was at Fulham. We're talking about academy players coming through. Not play. I mean, how much did Liverpool spend on Harvey Elliott? I mean, Can we put Dauman into a time machine and pull him out at 20? Look, there's people. But by the way, for all of the excitement that we have for Ethan Nwaneri, to an extent for Miles Lewis-Skelly, people at the club genuinely believe that Max Dauman is the next star out of the academy. Like, he is the one. So, I mean, if you look at how good Nwaneri is, I saw a goal from Nwaneri in training today. Very, very nicely taken. But yeah, so ultimately my point is this. At the very top level, if you want to compete for titles, it's very difficult to bring academy players through. And even if you look at City with Oscar Bob, like, it's incomparable. He's 20 years old. He's an established international. Salah, KDB, Lukaku, Chelsea Academy is fire. Well, that's the other thing as well. Our academy has been terribly run compared to Chelsea or Man City. And when I say terribly run, I mean, we haven't been bringing in the best academy products and then trying to bring them through. We've not done that at all. So you look at all of the names that Man City have let go over the last few years. Arsenal haven't let go of any names that have gone on to do anything. So, I don't know. What happened to Marquinhos, the Brazil kid? I don't know. I think he's still on the books, isn't he? I don't know what's happening with Marquinhos, to be honest. Do you think that Calafiori will play today? Possibly. I think he might get a few minutes at the very end of the game. Did anyone see, by the way, on Calafiori's Instagram, he posted a video about joining Arsenal. What a video, by the way. Unbelievable video. So he was at the Emirates for the Crystal Palace game in January when we won 5-0. And he literally, people didn't even clock him, right? People didn't even know that it was him. He walked through the tube station like a fan with the fans, recorded himself walking through the tube station, walked up to the Emirates, up the steps, across the bridge. Like, he literally did the walk that we do as the fans, and no one recognized him. Watched us absolutely smash Crystal Palace and was like, yeah, this is the club for me. And then made it happen. Unbelievable. I think Ricardo Calafiori is going to become like proper Arsenal. And a fan favorite as well. He seems to have it. He seems to have it. Maybe some Italian fans did, but didn't say anything. Yeah, possibly. I hope he doesn't get injured like Timber. Hopefully not. Marlon hasn't proven us wrong. Marlon wouldn't get into the current Arsenal squad. Say Zinchenko play and knew he would be joining. Saw Zinchenko play and knew he would be joining. Yeah, probably. Probably. Under 18 at 14 is crazy. Obi wasn't fast track that much. Well, there's two things on this, right? This is a great point. This is back to Dowman. He's playing under 18s at 14 years old. That is quick. Chido was, at the start of last year, Chido was still playing in the under 16s before upgrading to the under 18s. Chido has the benefit that he's already 6'2". One of the big advantages Chido had over everyone was that he'd already had his growth spurt. Dowman hasn't had that. Dowman is just legitimately that talented that as a 14-year-old he can play with the 18s. It's exciting. It's exciting. By the way, we are live later tonight. Well, we'll be on Twitch from like 10:30 as normal. Link to that's in the description. But we're live on TIFO for the watch-along of Arsenal versus Liverpool from midnight tonight. TIFO, link down in the description. Use the code Rory, RORY, full caps, if you haven't signed up to TIFO before. It's where I do all of the watch-alongs for the Arsenal games. So yeah, hopefully, look, we're doing a watch-along from midnight until 2:30 in the morning. I'm hoping that there's going to be plenty of people there keeping me awake. So he's an absolute unit. Good luck knocking him off the ball. Yeah, he is, yeah. Why do they do penalties, even though it's not a draw? It's just for entertainment, to entertain the fans that are there. Every preseason game we do does penalties. Just for entertainment. No worries, hi. See you later. Calafiori knows how to party. Calafiori knows how to party in the city of London, in the city of culture. Keep it rocking. Keep it rocking. I should probably know the tune to that, but yeah, there you go. There you go. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Gooner, the game where I give you 5 clues about an ex or current Arsenal player, and you have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the RoryTalksFootball community. So get your fingers on your keyboards, because we are starting now. And if you're going to jump off, because I know a lot of people jump off at this point, please do subscribe and click the like button before you do. Clue number 1, this player made their Arsenal debut in 2012. Clue number 1, this player made their Arsenal debut in 2012. Clue number 2, this player is a Champions League winner. Clue number 2, this player is a Champions League winner. Clue number 3, they came through the Arsenal Academy. Clue number 3, they came through the Arsenal Academy. Clue number 4, they currently play in the Bundesliga. Clue number 4, they currently play in the Bundesliga. And clue number 5, they had a loan spell at West Brom whilst they were at Arsenal. Clue number 5, they had a loan spell at West Brom whilst they were at Arsenal. And the winner, I saw it come through. Someone managed to guess it before we even read out the first clue. So, unfortunate for everyone else. But, where was it? Here we go. Here we go. Loopy guessed it before a clue had even been made. Serge Gnabry. We're what a wavelength. What a wavelength. Ryan Henderson. I think Ryan might have guessed it before a clue was given as well. Ryan was second. Third was CEO Arnie was third. Fourth was Carter. And fifth was Cullen. So there you go. Loopy's done an absolute madness. Loopy has done a madness. How did no one mention him when talking about academy players that would have helped so much? Yeah, true. True. There you go. Goal given. Goal. I knew that one was getting given. Rory, you need to get rid of the mole like Arteta did. Yeah, I don't know. I've been hacked. Loopy's hacked me. Dang, I was first on my screen, but fair enough. Yeah, that's unlucky. I mean, Loopy's message was literally like 3 messages below me typing starting now. Wait. I just hopped on the stream. How much are we selling Eddie? The most recent bid from Marseille was nearing 20 million euros. So that's about 15 million pounds. I think it might get up to about 20 million pounds in the end, but yeah, not a lot. Have you heard the links with Sane? Yeah, the links to Sane aren't great, to be honest. They're not great. Anyway, it is time for Guess the Non-Gooner. I'm going to give you the entire career path of a player who does not and has not played for Arsenal. And you have to guess who that player is in the chat. First person to get it right wins the immense pride and respect of the RoryTalksFootball community, but not as much respect as Loopy currently has. This player started their career at the Liverpool Academy. They went on loan to Birmingham. They went on loan to Birmingham City. They went on loan to Derby County. They then moved permanently to Bournemouth. They then moved permanently to Derby County. They then moved permanently to Adanaspor. They moved permanently to Ebbsfleet. And they are currently without a club. Liverpool, Birmingham City on loan, Derby County on loan, Bournemouth permanently, Derby County permanently, Adanaspor permanently, Ebbsfleet permanently, and they are now without a club at 28 years of age. Who is the player? Who is the player? The first person to get it correct was Tom. It was indeed Jordan Ibe. It was Jordan Ibe. Congratulations to Tom. Sportcat was in second. Sam Shapiro was third. Ethan Udall was fourth. And Ahiwe, I'm sorry if I butchered that name, was fifth. So there you go. Congratulations. Congratulations. Jordan Ibe, 18 million euros he moved to Bournemouth for. Crazy, really. When the way his career went is actually insane. And yeah, he is now 28 years old and has no club. So there you go. 5 more likes to get to 200. There you go. 5 more likes. Look, that is going to be the end of the stream. I'm about to head off to the cinema. Finally watching the new, Deadpool film. Because I missed it when we went to Italy. But look, I appreciate you all for joining. Absolutely sensational stream. Max, I have to say, Max, your constant support of the channel is absolutely incredible. Trixie as well, Devin as well today. I do really appreciate you guys supporting. But yeah, if you could like the stream, subscribe, and I'll catch you all later, or some of you later. If not, I'll catch you all tomorrow, same time as usual. Until then, good evening and goodbye.